Hi, my name is Lokesh Hadagali. I'm a sophomore at Troy High School. Today, we're extremely pleased to have Ms. Gopalakrishnan, who is the president of My Family Services. So, this video is brought to you by DES, Detroit Education Society, tutors Detroit schools students online in STEM and English. So please tell me, what is My Family Services?
So firstly, Lokesh, it's been a privilege and honor to be here, and
Thank
especially
you.
questions coming from a youngster goes a long way, especially for our organization. So My Family Services is a non-profit organization. It's the only South Asian agency in Michigan which caters to individuals and families in crisis and in abusive situations. So we serve, support domestic violence, substance abuse, mental health, senior issues, senior abuse. So the services are plenty, and so we are the only agency here in Michigan offering those services.
So this organization has been since 1986, but has been serving South Asians.
Right.
What are some of its challenges?
Challenges are many, because the first challenge which I face, or as an organization we face, is the whole blanket of denial. Because we always think that as a community, we are very educated, we are economically out there, we communicate, but it's more on the cultural and on the social level. We don't talk about abuse. We don't talk about depression. We don't talk about things that we don't talk about failures.
Right.
And in order for us to be successful as a community, as an individual, we have to celebrate our failures as well. And so that is our primary challenge. And of course, the other one by default is funding, which any non-profit organization, including DES, has a challenge for. And so it would be great if the community gets together and the way we celebrate and come together with regard to our cultural and social aspects, I would really kind of fathom the fact that we all come together and talk about our failures and come together and work as a community.
Right. What services does the organization offer?
So we have lots. So as I mentioned earlier, we have domestic violence, and we have mental health, and we have substance abuse. So we have clients coming in with all these issues. We also, so as services, we have intervention and prevention. So in order to prevent things from happening, we have workshops and awareness groups, and we come to schools like Troy High as well, and we talk to students, we talk to the faculty members. And in terms of intervention, we have our caseworkers who are out there. We get calls through our 888 number, and our website, which is maifs.org. And people approach us with their issues, and then we have a process inside. So both on the intervention and the prevention side, our services are offered.
Well, that's great. How many survivors have utilized this service?
Many, thousands from 1986. But on an yearly basis, we are kind of looking at, we average around 100 to 120. This is after filtering all the calls that come in, because some of them could be just asking for information.
Right.
But then our typical case, the cases that we get are all 100 to 120 on an average.
Wow.
Yep.
What are some myths about domestic violence?
Oh, plenty. So first thing is, everybody thinks that violence or abuse happens only to people who are uneducated, who do not come from that economic and the social strata of the community. So that's the first myth. The myth and the reality is that it could happen to anybody. It
Right.
could happen to anybody at any stage of their lives. The second one is, constantly we get questions about, the person can just leave. Why are they in that violent situation? Why are they in that abusive situation? The myth is that they cannot leave because it involves a lot of planning. The batterer, kind of knows all the options that the individual would have. So it's a very scheming, very manipulative way of abuse. And when it gets to that point, then the person needs to have a safe place to go to, need to have friends who could work on it, resources like money, And a lot of planning needs to happen, because most of the times some of the clients that we have, outside of the fact that they might come with a lot of money and they might have a lot of education, it's just that they're not in the mental state to make that decision. So the myths are many, but a couple of them are what I just spoke about.
Is there any last comments that you would like to make or say anything to our audience? Or
Yes, and I definitely would want the community to come together and work together, because these are all, I understand that these are not glamorous enough for us to discuss, but that whole blanket of denial needs to be removed, because as a community, as we celebrate our successes, we also, as parents, as this generation is progressive, we teach our children how to handle failures, how to handle crisis. I think that becomes of prime importance in any family ecosystem. So in order for our community to be progressive, and in order for them to be forward thinking and move along, I think we have to embrace everything that goes along with it. So please do check us out at www.maifs.org. We are My Family Services at maifs.org.
It was great talking to you.
Thank you so much, Lokesh, and continue to keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you.
This video is brought to you by DES. Detroit Education Society tutors Detroit school students online in STEM and English. If you appreciate the shared info on this video, please go to our website www.detroiteducation.org and make a small donation. If you have any education or youth development shared info that you would like to share for the benefit of young adults, or would like to sponsor this video with your business ad, please contact us. Thank you.
Thank you very much.